Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is April the 7th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see here. I went out last night, so wouldn't say I'm still recovering. Definitely woke up a little bit like blah, the next day, today. But overall, I had a really good time. Went out to North Side, little city hangs for my friend's birthday. It was a really good ass fucking time. Happy birthday, Ryan. So yeah, hell yeah. It was a vibe. Let's see here. Food corner last night was Bridges. Um, it was really yummy. I believe it's Indian food. Might be like Indian, Nepali food fusion. I don't know, whatever. But I just had a rice and chicken bowl with a lot of stuff in it, like lentils. I don't know, all kinds of stuff. There was onions. I think I had like some kind of vegetable, kind of I don't know, not puree, but just some kind of like mix of vegetables or whatever, and potatoes. It was so good. There was a samosa involved, and then also some naan. So yeah, I ate really good last night. Also, at some point, I think I ate a bagel, so that was good. Love that for me. But yeah, overall, just had a good night. Have been having a good day. I will say, like, obviously, if you're usually keeping up with the Joneses here, I'm coming in a little bit later than usual. But yeah, it was kind of like hard to find the news I wanted to talk about today. A little bit of a slow weekend, I guess. But we were able to get there, so I figured, hey, let's go ahead and get on and get to yapping. So let me go ahead and do my startup. I think I'm doing no alcohol today, taking a break. But we will, be doing the rest of the startup meeting, of course. So feel free to show up, show out. Okay. All right. Our first story comes from USA Today. Israel withdraws most offensive troops from Gaza. Hamas, Israel to engage in talks. The Israeli military said Sunday it has withdrawn most ground troops from the Gaza Strip after completing a withering offensive in the southern city of Han Yunis, leaving just one brigade in the battered enclave 6 months after the war began. The military has been reducing numbers in Gaza since the start of the year under growing global pressure to ease the impact of the war on civilians. The drawdown has also provided relief for reservists, many of whom have been away from their homes and jobs since Israel's offensive was launched within hours of the October 7th Hamas led assault on Israel. The remaining Nahal Brigade includes a few thousand soldiers tasked with preventing Palestinians from returning to northern Gaza and conducting precision strikes across the territory, the military said. It is not clear what impact, if any, the withdrawal will have on the long threatened incursion into the southern city of Rafah, which, I think I heard some stories when I was like scrolling even before I got on about airstrikes in Rafah. So clearly it's still an ongoing thing that's in play. Also, even if they are withdrawing troops, it doesn't mean that they're not doing airstrikes, wherever, whenever they want. And not to mention, I think it's crazy that they are going to be trying to keep people out of the northern part of Gaza. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know if that's them going to try to, you know, take or keep territory. You just never know. You truly don't. So, I felt like it was a relevant update to talk about, though I don't know in terms of like, is this a good thing? Is this just a pausing and fighting, a ceasing of action for now in just this area? But figured I will keep you guys posted. The more I hear, the more I learn. The rest are just kind of updates in the rest of this article. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to another conflict from the BBC. Myanmar military loses border town in another big defeat. The military regime, which seized power in Myanmar 3 years ago, has suffered another big defeat, this time on the eastern border with Thailand. Troops had suffered weeks of attacks by ethnic Karen insurgents allied with other anti coup forces. Hundreds of troops guarding the vital border town of Mwadi have now agreed to surrender. Most of Myanmar's overland trade with Thailand passes through Mwadi. On Friday, the Karen National Union announced that it had accepted the surrender of a battalion based in the town of Thanganyinwan, about 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles west of Mwadi. It posted a video of its jubilant fighters showing off substantial arsenal of weapons they had captured. This is a big win for Karen forces and just general anti-coup, insurgents that have been kind of rallying together to fight the Myanmar junta that has, taken power and done a lot of fucked up shit to the people of Myanmar or Burma. I haven't had anyone correct me over that, but I have heard that some people or a lot of people, from that area would prefer it to be called Burma. I don't know. I think I just generally like to default to Myanmar, but I'm definitely flexible. Let me see here. Thousands of soldiers have already either been killed or suffered or surrendered or defected to the opposition, forcing the military to impose conscription on the population to try to make up those losses. And the thing that's kind of frustrating in its own way is that happy to see them taking on these losses, the military regime, but at the same time they still have the ability to do massive airstrikes and things like that. They still have a lot of territory that they control. So even though this is a big win, maybe even this is really showing the writing on the wall. We just don't know how long it's still going to be. But let's see here. The Karen National Union has been fighting for self-rule for the ethnic Karen people since Myanmar's independence in 1948. However, it suffered a series of defeats by government forces in the 1990s, and after 2015 had been a part of a national ceasefire. The 2021 coup changed that, with the KNU announcing that the overthrow of the elected government led by Aung San Suu Kyi had invalidated the ceasefire. So that's when they got involved. So big development. Once again, happy to see it. We will see what comes in the future. Though I don't know. I'm optimistic, but I don't think I'm gonna hear or see anything in the immediate or near future. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong on that. Excuse me. We have another story to cover from the BBC. Peter Pellegrini, Russia-friendly populist elected Slovak president. Populist Peter Pellegrini has been elected president of Slovakia, succeeding liberal Zuzana Kaputova. Mr. Pellegrini, 48, defeated the pro-Western Ivan Korkok, a former diplomat with 53% of the vote. A former prime minister, he is an ally of Prime Minister Robert Fico and shares the PM's dovish attitude towards Russia. So essentially, they're just kind of like, hey, we're fans of the guy. We don't think he did anything wrong. You guys are being a little too crazy. Maybe we shouldn't be supporting Ukraine so much. Essentially, that's kind of the stance that this guy is taking. And now, between him and Fico, it definitely seems like things are going to be changing for Slovakia, at least in terms of their alignment in this conflict. Let's see here. Slovakia had been one of Ukraine's staunchest allies before Mr. Fico came to power in October on a pledge to halt supplies of Slovak army military stocks to Kyiv, with Mr. Pellegrini replacing Ms. Kaputova. Ukraine has now definitely lost a voice of support in EU and NATO capital. Let's see here. Mr. Fico has called for an end to Western military support for Ukraine, an immediate ceasefire, and peace talks with Moscow. He said recently President Vladimir Putin had been unfairly demonized and argued admitting Ukraine into NATO would mark the beginning of the Third World War. Let's see here. What else did I want to pull? Once Ms. Kaputova steps down in June, there will no longer be any high-level official in Slovakia, a country which barely a year ago donated its entire fleet of MiG-29 aircraft to Ukraine, who unequivocally backs Kyiv's effort to defend its territory with force. Let's see here. There was a little fact I wanted to pull. This was something I wanted to talk about. It had investigated a number of senior officials in Mr. Fico's smear party and had been overseeing the prosecution of those believed to be responsible for the murder of investigative journalist Jan Kuikak and his fiancée Martina Kusenrova in 2018. Let's see here. The killings were a seismic event in Slovak politics. The fallout ended Mr. Fico's second premiership in 2018 and led to the liberal pro-Western Zuzana Kaputova being elected president on a wave of popular anger at the official corruption and organized crime. But it seems like that anger didn't really last long, kind of a little bit of a cyclical kind of vibe. And, now, the people that were like, whoa, that guy's way too far, that dude did way too much, they're too dirty. Well, maybe we could work with them. Maybe that's what we need right now, I guess. Which, it's crazy. And it's really sad how that can, turn out and unfold. But I know as an American that I know that shit all too well. And I'm not quoting Taylor Swift there. It just felt good to say. Let's see here. What else was there that I really wanted to pull? Not much else other than I know that he wants to shut down this independent news outlet, and he wants to go to a government one. But that was even something that was not really popular on his campaign. So hopefully he doesn't go through with that now. But you never know when these guys actually get the reins. Maybe they just say fuck it, fuck what you want, fuck what you think. I'm just gonna do what I want. Do what I like. But yeah, let's see. I have one more thing I wanted to cover. So let me go ahead and take my last break, and then we will get into it. I'm gonna burn it up. Sadly, like our culprit who got arrested here, but I'll get into that. Ooh, all right. From NPR. A man was charged with setting a fire at Senator Bernie Sanders' Vermont office. Authorities have arrested a man in connection with a fire that broke out at Senator Bernie Sanders' office in Burlington, Vermont on Friday, damaging the building but leaving occupants unharmed. Shant Soghamanen, I have no idea how to pronounce that, 35, previously of Northridge, California, was arrested on Sunday morning. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Vermont said in a news release. Soghamanen, sure, who is also known by the first name Michael, was charged with using fire to damage the building. Authorities did not announce a motive. On Friday morning, the suspect allegedly entered the building and went to the third floor where Sanders' office is located, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Security video shows Soghamanen allegedly spraying a liquid near the outdoor of Sanders' office and then lighting the area with a handheld lighter, prosecutors said. A blaze quickly began where Soghamanen departed via a staircase. The fire damaged the outside of the office door and surrounding areas before the sprinkler system and fire alarms were activated, largely extinguishing the fire. The third floor and floors below also sustained significant water damage, it said the Burlington Fire Department. After the crews were dispatched to the office building Friday morning. The fire was extinguished, and the senator's office and surrounding offices were searched and cleared of occupants, the department said. Let's see here. Now, Sanders, an independent who lives in Burlington and served as its mayor before being elected in Congress, gosh, bleh, was not in his office or even in the state at the time of the incident. He was rallying with strike hotel workers on the picket line in Los Angeles. So hell yeah, I'm glad that he was okay, and I'm glad that he's doing the real work out there. On the line with people. Like, I mean, this man's not even taking a break. He's literally out there doing the work. For us, for people. So I definitely appreciate that. Fuck this Sog hominin motherfucker. That's really cringe behavior. Tomatoes to this man. I'm curious if they're gonna come out with what the motive is. I haven't, outside of just like listening to the NPR, I haven't really heard anything about this yet. I imagine maybe it might make the news rounds, or more details might come out, in the week, and I'll be here to yap about that. But maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we can go ahead and call that a day. Go ahead and call that an episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.